In this video, I'll explain to you the best knife trade-ups right now. So if you're looking for the most profitable or the best trade-up to do, I'm going to give you my recommendations. I've dug through all the data right now. So these are going to be the updated prices for today and maybe a couple following days. As you can see, I have a spreadsheet with all the data here, anything that you could dream of. And this is going to be up-to-date data. And I'm also going to give you my recommendations on which ones you should do. Now, before we start, I want to say one thing. So this video is made up in a few parts. First of all, I'm going to explain you how you can actually check this trade up yourself. By the way, the spreadsheet here, before you click away, is also in the description. You can check it manually yourself. The first thing that I'm going to explain to you is how you can actually check these trade-ups yourself. Why some trade-ups are worse than you think, but also better. Basically, I'm just going to explain to you how these trade-ups, how the profitability is made. Because sometimes it says that the trade-up is profitable, but really, if you're only going to do like 2 or 3 times the trade-up, it's not really profitable. So that's just like an introduction about trade-ups. If you already know that, you can just skip ahead to the part where it says all trade-ups data. And if you skip to that part, I'm just going to show you the spreadsheet. Then second of all, I'm going to very quickly go over. I made a sheet with the best in terms of profit, the best in terms of what's your odds to get a profitable item. This video is brought to you by Skinsmonkey, the best place if you want new CS2 skins instantly and cheap. It's an automated trading site with easy filters and unlimited skins to choose from. Trading is easy. Just select your skins from your inventory, then select which skins you want to trade for, click on trade items, and you're done. You can even get up to $5 completely for free for using the link in the description or my code shown on screen right now, Pili. Skinsmonkey also offers you the option to buy skins for cheap. They have a standard 30% deposit bonus, but if you use my code Pili, you'll get an extra 5%. Don't forget to check out the daily giveaways in the free freebies tab. And if you have any questions, you can ask the 24/7 live support. But for now, let's get back to the video. And then lastly, this is the best part, the recommendations. Okay, so if you just want to get do one trade and get lucky and get like $10,000, you need to do these ones. If you just want like the best chance to get some profit, or if you just want like the most profitable trade up, I'm gonna explain you all of them and recommend which one you should do in my opinion. Lastly, the thing is that this data that I'm using may not be 100% correct, so you need to always check yourself before doing any of these trade ups or going for my recommendations. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's first see how to check these trade profits yourself. So if you want to check if a trade up is profitable yourself, first of all, if you want to know which collections are the best, then if you go into the spreadsheet, which the link is in the description once again, here I made in the second sheet, it's called Trade Up Detailed Info, by the way, outdated. But generally, this is still going to be okay data. So here I wrote the collection plus the profitable ratings. So when it's a 10 profitable rating, then you should look at that collection because it's probably either profitable or almost not profitable. If it's a rating of 3, you should probably not take a look at the Clutch collection or the CS20 collection. It also says some info on why I think that, and it also says if the case is in the active drop pool or not. So that is something to look at. But how do you actually see if this trade up is profitable or not? So there are 2 ways. First of all, you have Trade Up Spy, which uses the Steam price. So how you do this is you go into the website. Normally it looks like this. I choose here compact view because I just like this view better. What you do is you go to rarity, you select covert, you go to pricer, you keep this the same, you click here on plus, you search for either a collection or a skin specifically. Let's say in our case, we're gonna search for the Prisma 1 case. We go to field tested and we click on the skin, we click on add skin and we're gonna copy it. And now the skin is here, so 5 skins. One thing to take note of is that price here is the Steam price, but I believe this is the buy order price, okay? So the trade-up cost is probably going to be more than you think. It shows the profitability with fees and without fees, the profit per trading with fees and without fees, the odds to profit, the best item and the worst item. Here you can see every single item that you can get, plus the chance to get that item. You can see this one is 0.83% chance, this one is 4% chance. So you can see every single item, what is the chance that you can get it. But this is only for the Steam price, and the Steam price is not something everyone uses because a lot of these trade-ups were not profitable for the Steam price. So what I did is I used the Buff on CS3 price, and that's where I use this site called cs2locker.com. So when you search for CS2Locker, you go to Trade Up in the top here, you click on an item, so you click here, and now you can just search for the skin. So in our case, we're gonna search for the Emperor, boom, float value 0.26, fill all empty slots, or just click on copy there. Then for price source right here, select Buff on CS3. I tried selecting UPIN, but UPIN would give a 20% ROI, and then Buff on CS3 would give a minus ROI. And the reason is because UPIN, some of these prices were not correct, like 5,500. This Talon Knife Doppler Ruby is only like 3,000. So Buffon's tree is the safest option. One thing to take note of is right here it says input cost, expected return, expected profiting. This is all up to date, but if you scroll all the way down, there are some items sometimes that don't show up. Okay, and they will show up right here. I'm not sure if this is a bug right now, it doesn't show it, but sometimes there are some items that don't show a percentage of the chance. So that may be an error, but nonetheless, so here's how you can check it for the Buffon's tree value, and here's how you can check it for the Steam value. I recommend when you're doing trade up to buy them with real money with on Buffon's tree. If you don't want to check them on Steam, here's how to do it. So that's how you can check these trade ups yourself. Second of all, why trade ups are worse than you think, but also better. Okay, so when you do a trade up, I quickly just want to explain is that they're worse than you think. If it says that it has an ROI, so like a return on investment of 110%, then this doesn't mean that if you do 10 trade-ups that you get 100% profit, okay? Like if a trade-up costs $100 and you do 10 trade-ups and it has 110% profitability, then you can get minus $100, you can get plus $100. It's all random, okay, guys? It's all based on luck. So the trade-ups are worse than you think in the sense of if it says that the profit is like 110%, then you shouldn't then it isn't like risk-free, okay? This, like how this is calculated, the profit, is if you were to do 1 million trade-ups, here's all the outcomes you can get, divided by like the cost. So what this means is the ROI is only like useful if you do a lot of trade-ups. If you do like 10 to 50 trade-ups, you should be fine. If you do 3 trade-ups, then you can either get profit, loss, it doesn't matter what the ROI is. The ROI doesn't matter if you do only a few trade-ups. If you do 10 to 50 trade-ups, then you're fine, then the ROI does matter. If you only do 3 trade-ups, only do 5, only do 10, then you're probably it's probably just luck, it's just gambling, okay? I just wanted to get that out of the way in case people think that this is like some infinite money glitch right now. So the first thing, all trade-ups data. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I did. So this data right here, the old data, you shouldn't care about this. I'm actually going to delete this because this is shit. Okay, so this is the trade-up detailed info. So here's every single collection and here's every single profitability rating. A rating of 10 means that it's very profitable and a rating of 0 means that it's not profitable. It also says the info. Now this is outdated. I made this list about 2 weeks ago, but generally this will show you like the best collections to take a look at when you're looking at trade-ups. By the way, this spreadsheet is in the description if you want to download it. Also, the case drop pool. You can see like, is it in the red drop pool, the active drop pool, discontinued, whatever. This just has impact on the supply of the red skins, the only thing. Now, I came out with some of the best red collections and some of the best filler skins. I thought maybe it was Nightfish. There was a few weeks ago, some data I did. So right now for the updated data, okay, let's go right here. So these would be all the profitable collections that have a profitability rating of 5 or minimum, okay? And what I did is I went to CS2 locker. I went right here. I used the Buffon's tree data. Very important to take a note of. I used the Buffon's tree data in order to check the input cost, the expected return, the expected profit, and the ROI for each single trade-up of these collections. Okay, so as you can see, here I have all the data. This data doesn't really matter because I put it in a much more organized way. I'm just going to go over it very quickly just so you can see it. So first of all, we have the Chroma collections. These are about 15% loss. They have some very expensive Dopplers and the Oster profit is about 25%. By the way, these are all in field tested and I also have some in Battlescard. But you see that most traders right now, you know, the input cost is like, the ROI is like minus 5%, minus 10%. I mean, this one is 5% profit technically, but the Oster profit is only 18%, so that's kind of bad. You know, and this one is 0% profit, this one is minus 3. So just in general, you can just take a detailed look about it yourself. These trade-ups are not that profitable. There are only 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 trade-ups that are profitable. But I only did this for field tested and Battlescard to make it easier for myself. Sometimes you're going to see that some trade-ups are going to be better in StatTrack or maybe even minimal wear. But I didn't check those. Also, if it says Battlescard, then it's better to do Battlescard. If it doesn't say Battlescard, then it's probably better to do field tested. That's why I didn't put it in it. So now let's go to the ROI rating, because this is the most important part, actually in an organized way. So once again, all prices are Buffon's tree prices, and the spreadsheet is also in the description. Okay, so I put here from the biggest ROI to the lowest ROI. So what you can see is that if you were to open the recoil case or the snakebite case, if you were to do the trade-up, I mean, in field tested condition, here it says field test float, this would be your ROI. Okay, so you can just take a look at this. Essentially, all I said here is you can see the profit, the ROI, and you can see if it's risky or not. So the best to worst ROI right now, you can see that the only ones who are green are the Recall, the Snakebite, the Dreams and Nightmare, the Gamma 2, and the Prisma 2. So technically, the only ones who would be rewarded right now is like the Recall, Snakebite, and Dreams and Nightmares. The other trade-offs are kind of shit in terms of ROI, so technically you would lose money on them. One thing to take note of when you're reading off this data is that here it says the input cost and it says the expected return. Now there's a reason why I made some things green, orange, and red. So when it's green, in terms of expected return, the lowest ones are green, then the more expensive ones are orange, and the most expensive ones are red. Now, I did this because you can then clearly see like which ones are the most expensive to do. Because the less expensive a trade-up is, the more you can do it. So the better, so the closer you're going to get to this ROI. Okay, so the less trade-up cost, technically it is better. And I did this for expected return and not for input cost, so it's just more clear. Then, of course, everything is green if it's profit. And then the odds to profit, you also want the odds to profit to be as high as possible because it means that you're going to be less gambling and it's going to be just better. You're just going to get profit more times technically. You know, it's like if you do 5 trade-ups, you're probably going to get like 2 or 3 times profit. But if you do trade-up with only 10% or 18% profit, you can do 5 trade-ups and you're not even sure if you're going to get 1 time profit, okay? So you want to find things that are green in expected return, green in the ROI, and also green in odds to profit. Also, here are the notes. You can just read this. Here's my opinion on every single trade-up. And you also want something that is preferably not that risky. So when it's red, it's pretty risky. You know, it's one of the highest risks. The same goes for odds to profit. And this is especially useful when you're only going to be doing a few trade-ups, or you just want something that isn't as risky. So if we go from the highest to lowest odds to profit, you can see those who are 30% or more are the Prisma, Recoil, Snakebite, Prisma 2, Recoil in Bell's card condition, Revolution, Prisma 2, and Phoenix and Winter. So realistically, it's just Prisma 1 and 2, Recoil, and Snakebite. Those are the only 4 collections which have the highest odds to profit. And then here are going to be my recommendations. Okay, so now I'm going to give you my recommendations. This is just basically all the data for whatever situation you're in. So if you are feeling lucky and you want to open a case and try to get like the Butterfly Knife Emerald or something which has like a 1% chance, but you have the possibility to get like a few $1,000s and the trade-up only costs like $500, $200, then here's my recommendation. So if you're feeling lucky and just want to gamble, my first pick would be the Dreams and Nightmare case. It's $300 input cost and it's the lowest one of all of these so far. So if you do want to get like a crazy drop, I think from the Dreams and Nightmare case, I can actually search it for you if you want. Yeah, so you got the 0.2% chance for the $10,000 profit, and you have a few items who are like $1,800 profit. So if you want to go for the lucky one, you have like a 2-3% chance for that. Then I recommend you to do the Dreams and Nightmare. And this is also the only one which is under $300. So that's why this one is better, because you're not risking that much money. Second of all, I would go for the Gamma 2, because this one still has a positive ROI. And you know what the thing is, the odds to profit for each one is almost the same, okay? So this one, because there's profitable ROI and it's also the second cheapest, would be my recommendations. And then whichever other ones you do, like Chroma 2, Breakout, Gamma 2, Gamma, these are all going to be practically the same. Some have 26% odds to profit, but they are also less profitable in terms of ROI. So technically you should be better off by doing Breakout or Gamma 2. But I recommend you to, for example, do the ones which are the less money. I mean, $700 is a lot of money for a trade-up. Okay, then we have the best if you do less than 3 to 5 trade-ups. Or I mean, maybe I'll change it to less than 10 trade-ups, you know. If you just do a few trade-ups, the ROI technically doesn't matter that much, okay? So this is all really in terms of the odds to profit. So the highest odds to profit are going to be the best. Now, in my opinion, I think these would be the best collections to take a look at. Recoil and Snakebite. Okay, these ones have a profitable ROI of 10%. So still, technically, if you open these 5 times, you should still get profit. And the odds to profit are 37% chance. So if you only open this 3 times, you should at least 1 time get a profitable items, okay? So that's, and if you get one of the best item, which is the slingshot or Noct, you're gonna get like $400 profit, then you're fine, you know? So these ones, if you're only gonna do a few trade-ups, I recommend Recoil Snakebite because you have the chance for the Nox or Slingshot. Then Prisma 2 and Prisma 1 are kind of like a 50-50, okay? If you win, you're probably gonna get like $300 profit, $200 profit, probably not a lot, but you also have the chance to get like 1,000, but most likely this is like a 50-50. But the odds of profit are very high, but you're gonna see that sometimes you're just gonna break even. So otherwise, you have the Recoil and Battle Scarred. Okay, that's kind of the same. You have the Revolution and the Winter Case. These ones are going to be a bit more risky. You can like get like double your money, triple your money with these ones, and the odds to profit are still 35-30%. So these are pretty safe. All of these are going to be pretty safe to open in terms of the chance you are going to make profit. Okay, then the last part is the best trade-ups to spam right now, best to worst. So these are just trade-offs from the highest to lowest ROI. Now, one thing to note, guys, is that in like all these prices, the input cost are from the active buff on the 3 price. So if the price goes down by $1, they're gonna become more profitable. If the price goes up, it's also gonna become less profitable. So that's why I put all of these in from highest to lowest ROI. But technically right now, Recoil and Snakebite Case, they are $150 both of these. The ROI is 10%. So technically, if the glove prices don't change in the next week, you can buy these skins, and in the next week you can do that. You have a 37% chance to profit. So even if you only do 10 trade-ups, you should be fine. And if you get like the Nox or the Slingshot at least 1 or 2 times, then you get some pretty nice profit. So those will be my 2 best recommendations right now. Dreams and Nightmare is also a pretty fun one because you can get the Doppler, but the odds to profit is lower. So in this way, you can take a look at all of this data, and I hope this is useful for you guys. I put some time into it. All I would ask you to do is to please subscribe if you just find this useful. The spreadsheet, once again, is in the description. So is my Discord server. Thank you so much for watching.